Hello and welcome, Jimreds. Today I want to share some thoughts about food and diet. During my own bumpy fitness journey, I've used calorie counting for quite a while and it never let me down. But recently, a couple of years ago, I switched to intuitive eating and it's been working for me even better. So I wanted to share my experience with this transition. But before I start talking about it, I thought it might be good to say a few words about calorie counting itself. I won't be talking about basics and practicalities here, there's literally thousands of resources on this topic, though if for some reason you want to hear it one more time from me, I'll be happy to oblige, let me know. But instead, I'll try to cover some less frequently brought up nuances and misconceptions, and also some thoughts specifically in context of switching to intuitive eating. First, quick alignment on definitions. By calorie counting, I mean more or less precise measuring, for example, using kitchen scales of all food and drinks you consume during the day, and writing down the amount of consumed calories and nutrients. Usually it's done to manipulate your body weight, to gain, lose or maintain it according to your fitness goals. And intuitive eating is achieving the same goals without calorie counting, using your experience and quote-unquote intuition instead. I'd like to start with some downsides or caveats of counting, which are pretty well known, but I still want to address them to have a full picture here. First, it takes some time and effort, and some getting used to. It's not too much though, and after a few months it will probably become a second nature. And with the variety of modern apps, it shouldn't be a problem at all. However, if you're a very busy person and literally counts per minutes of your day, it might be challenging to implement. But on busy days, you could mitigate that by preparing your meals and events, for example, so there is no need to measure them on the spot, or using a catering service, if that's an option for you, which of course brings up an issue of trust in how well they measure it. But oh well, I guess it's better than nothing. Second, it might limit your options for eating out. Yeah, for me it was like, wait, I can lose weight and avoid social events? Are there any downsides? But if you're a social creature or enjoy family dinners, might have to do some adjustments. Of course, a dinner out once in a while is perfectly fine, but if you're used to have it every week, might need to pay some attention. I think most restaurants have their nutrition info available upon request, though I know it feels awkward to make that request. But is it more awkward than bringing kitchen scales to a family dinner? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Joking aside, the last but not least caveat, if a person have a tendency to food-related disorders or anxiety, I feel counting calories might aggravate those conditions. Probably my own behavior was borderline obsessive more than once, like shoving spoons of peanut butter down my throat in the evening to fulfill my calorie goal. So if this resonates with you, some extra caution might be in order. But there is one common misconception that might be the root cause of all that anxiety. And that's the notion that you must and actually can accurately tell how much you consume. The reality is you simply can't. First, nutrition labels can be off. The legally allowed margin of error can be as high as 20%, although it varies around the world a bit. However, even 10% is crazy if you think about it. Means you counted your 2000 calories, but it might have been 1800 or 2200. Those extremes are unlikely, of course, but nevertheless possible. Same with the raw foods, like let's say apples. You can Google the nutrition information about apples or this particular sort of apples, but it's just average. You can't tell how much this particular apple contains without a lab. Depends on growing conditions, ripeness at the time of harvest, and who knows what else. Can't measure your cake and eat it too. Moreover, the absorption of energy and nutrients can differ from person to person depending on genetics, health, age, and so on, even if not super significant in most cases, but still. I eat an apple, you eat an apple, but the amount of calories or carbs our bodies get out of it might be slightly different. If that's not enough, apparently it can change for one person as well, again depending on age and health, but also probably meal timing and meal composition. So yeah, does it still sound like it's worth eating those 2.5 peanuts at night to hit the calorie goal? Wait a second, Cap, you might rightfully ask. Are you telling me that calorie counting doesn't actually work? Not at all. When done correctly, it works every time. But I think the biggest misconception is that it's about obsessively hitting some arbitrary number spat out by an online calculator. To me, the primary point of counting calories is making sure you stay consistent with the diet overall, so you can observe and learn a correlation between how much of what food you eat and how your body responds, how you feel, and how your weight changes. The old calories in, calories out mantra always stays true. Counting helps you maintain somewhat consistent levels on the calories in part. It does not matter what actual number of calories and macros you absorb. The main point is that this number is somewhat consistent daily. Then it's up to you to nail the calories out part with consistency in your training and activities. Also, it would be a good idea to stick to more or less stable pool of foods you eat most of the time. Not telling you to live off of only chicken and rice and never have fun. A diverse, balanced and sustainable diet is king. But given what we just discussed about assessing consumed calories, if you go after a new exotic dish every day, it just might be hard to get a baseline and establish that correlation between food and weight, in my opinion. By the way, coming back to the online calculators, I hope it is obvious by now that they're also based on averages. And any numbers they give you could be a decent starting point, but don't get attached to them. Try it, make observation, and don't hesitate to correct if needed. Remember, just a starting point. Okay, enough with the grim stuff. Let's go over some good bits. First of all, counting is a great opportunity to learn about portion sizes and nutritional values of different foods. It should help you gain the experience that will carry over and actually make the base of the intuitive approach. Don't just look at the number on the kitchen scales and then scan a barcode on the package with your app, but pause and take a mental note, like, aha, this bowl of rice is roughly 100 grams. A slice of bread is about 50 grams, and so on. Second, more importantly, start listening to your hunger and fullness feelings before meals, after meals, and overall during the day. Observe how you feel during different diet phases. For example, you might not feel any hunger at all most days during your bulk, or still have a slight hunger feeling after most meals on a calorie deficit. These things will matter the most when you go to the intuitive approach. Third, as a combination of the previous two, you ideally should start developing eating and lifestyle habits that allow you to reach your goals. Because essentially, especially if you're in an underweight or overweight situation, going and staying in the healthy range is most likely a matter of lifestyle change, not just short-term effort. And as a bonus, a personal anecdote: when I was counting calories on the cut, it helped me reduce snacking to some extent. Sometimes I wanted to have a bite just out of boredom, but then the very thought that, damn, I'm gonna need to log it, made me change my mind. It's a small thing, of course, but it all adds up. That's about it for today. Keep an eye out for part 2, where we'll talk about transitioning to intuitive eating, and I'll share some of the cues that I use every day. Hope it was somewhat helpful and you liked it. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.